Despite the evolving and diverse roles of women in violent extremism and terrorism, unconscious bias and gender stereotypes often continue to depict female terrorists as not actual and active terrorists. These stereotypes enable women and girls who are more actively involved in extremist and terrorist-related activities to evade detection and prosecution. Similar to men, women are also engaged in logistics, enforcement of morality laws, and suicide bombing. Even within strict family roles, some women may encourage or indoctrinate others to violent extremism. This evolution and diversification of roles and responsibilities have led the Global Counterterrorism Forum, or GCTF, to develop the Addendum to the GCTF Good Practices on Women and Countering Violent Extremism, with a focus on mainstreaming gender. A deeper, gender-sensitive understanding of the ideological and material motivations to join violent extremist groups is a crucial starting point in effectively combating violent extremism and terrorism. While these motivations may be similar for all genders, they are often experienced differently with distinct pathways to radicalization to violence for men and women. In demonstrating a nuanced understanding of gender roles, terrorist organizations are now exploiting stereotypical ideas of masculinity and femininity in their recruitment tactics. For example, some violent extremist organizations target young men for recruitment by promising them wives. Unmarried, divorced, or widowed women are offered the promise of a husband or the chance to build a better place to raise a family. Terrorist organizations have also used explicit recruitment messaging that promotes women's empowerment and the prospect of active roles in aiming to attract women to their cause. Other push factors that potentially resonate amongst women more frequently are empathy towards victims, resentment towards states, and material factors such as poverty and unemployment. Gender norms may affect women's participation in public life. This also influences the likelihood of exposure to different types of radicalization, for example, through family members, in person, or via social media. Young female members of violent extremist or terrorist groups may also be seeking to escape from the gender norms of their family, community, and/or society. If pathways to radicalization to violence are distinct for women and men, then the pathways to disengagement, rehabilitation, and reintegration will need to be tailored. Women are known to experience more difficulties, greater isolation and stigma from their communities when they return from conflict zones. There are some common circumstances applicable to women and girls that should be taken into account when developing reintegration and rehabilitation programs. These include, for example, their care of children, lack of resources, and their possible experience of sexual and gender-based violence within violent extremist or terrorist groups. Prosecution and detention measures should also be tailored to take into account gender differences and dynamics. States can, for example, provide gender-differentiated imprisonment for women who are pregnant, nursing, or have dependent children. While women who have been involved with extremist or terrorist groups should be held accountable for criminal activities, they also need to be screened for possible sexual or gender-based victimization and receive appropriate protection, support, and treatment. To optimize a gender-sensitive approach towards countering violent extremism, a systematic collection of sex-disaggregated data is required. Women and girls should be recognized as critical stakeholders who must be involved in counter-extremism and counter-terrorism policies and programs. Women frequently have the knowledge, trust, and long-term commitment to initiate and sustain social cohesion, support prevention and reintegration efforts, and improve social resilience against radicalization. As such, women can play a key role in countering and preventing violent extremism by women and men alike. Empowering women can be a significant step forward in the development of more peaceful communities. If you wish to learn more about the Addendum to the GCTF Good Practices on Women and Countering Violent Extremism, with a focus on mainstreaming gender, visit the GCTF website at www.thegctf.org.